Good morning if you are joining me. Okay, so following our posture theme, let's just look at some stretches that if you've been glued to your desk recently as you're working from home, you haven't quite got the correct setup, or even if you've gone back to work, these would be ideal to integrate to little breaks or in between meetings. So just make sure when you're sat in your chair, your feet are firmly fixed to the ground. So we're just going to start off with a head and neck stretch. So you're going to place your left hand to the side of the chair. You're going to take your right hand over the top. So let me just spin side on a second. So you've got that bony prominence here, the side of that occipital bone. You're going to place the three fingers there. So the middle index, second to last. And then the elbow just goes out to the side. And from this position, you're going to lengthen. Now you're not pushing down, you're almost lifting your head up and over, so you create a length. Just move back. So we're here. So you could just lengthen the hand and press into the side of the chair to begin, whilst you get that action. So it's not a pushing down, it's almost like use the fingertips to lift up and over, so you create length down through the side of the neck, and it's going to go along that trapezius line. So from here, you can hold this if you just want a maintenance stretch for 10 seconds. But in theory, you could go up to a 60-second hold. I mean, you could even do 90 if you wanted a real developmental stretch. So we'll hold for around 30 to 45 seconds as I explain it. Now, if you want a little bit more, bring your fingertips underneath the chair and then pull. So as you're pulling yourself this way with this hand, you lift up and over, and that will increase your stretch now from here. So let me just do that side on so you can see. So you're pulling here up into the chair, not so you raise the shoulder, but you lengthen away, so you've got that opposition of movement there. And then we're going to bring it back to centre, and we're going to change sides. So just take the head and neck to one side. You might feel that is enough for you, and that's fine. You don't have to assist or aid it. Then you're going to take the hand, take the fingertips. That middle finger is right at the centre, at that occipital bone on the side line. Then you're going to lift up and over. So you'll feel that bony prominence. Just press the hand to begin. Elbow, lengthen it out to the side. And keep pressing with this hand. So even in a stretch, you're contracting the muscles. Otherwise, you could just stay here all day long and you wouldn't actually achieve anything. So that's going to target that trapezius muscle. So remember, it starts quite low down your back, lower than people think, and it inserts into the base of that bone at the back of the skull. So keeping it here. So if you're typing and this is happening, that levator scapula is getting tense, all these muscles are going to shorten, and that's when you're at risk of getting tension, headaches. Okay, now if you want a little bit more, fingertips wrap underneath and you're pulling into the chair, so it's like you're pulling yourself. That right sitting bone, pull it down and lengthen over. So you feel that stretch. Okay, let me just go side on. So your feet are still firmly fixed to the floor, so you're pulling up here and then lengthen up and over, elbow out to the side. So again, if you didn't have much time, 10 seconds is fine, it's better than nothing. But you could go for 30, 45, 60-second hold and bring it back to centre. Okay, from here, then going to open through the chest line. So from this position, you've got a few options here. So if you've got a back on the chair, you're going to bring your hands around the outside, bring your thumbs, let me go move slightly so they're facing forward. So you're here, spin. And you're going to bring your elbows, and as if you're drawing the elbows back towards one another. Okay. So just lightly draw your elbows back. So you're not forcing them back. Now spread out the thumbs, and then spread out the fingertips. Now I would like you to press the little fingers into the back of the chair, because what that will do is connect into the outer blade. And then if you press into the thumbs, so on those fascial lines, the thumbs are connected to those pectoral muscles. So spread out the thumbs, stretch. So you're going to isolate into that line as well. So again, just hold this stretch. When you're at a desk, And if you've got a rounded posture going on, these muscles get tight at the front. And when these muscles get tight, it can pull us forward, which is not only going to increase the stress or the strain on the back of the head and neck joint, it's going to compromise your breathing because you're, in effect, you're crushing, you're coming forward. So we want to open that line from here. Okay, then if you want it a little bit more, just let go with your left hand, and then you're just going to place a little turn. So I'm just going to come back around so you can see what I mean. So from here, you're going to lightly just turn the body. So steer actually from your from that breastbone, steer as you go, rather than pulling the shoulder back or the elbow. Just a little steer, like you've got a headlight on that bone, and you're just going to shine the light slightly to the right. This hand can place onto the thigh or onto the tear and wrap. So you just turn around there and then bring yourself back to center. So we're not in a full rotation. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So check that you've connected with that thumb. And again, play about as to how high you want that hand line in order to get your good stretch there. Different anatomy, different as to where how high that hand goes. And just find that stretch. So you can start facing forward. Spread out the thumb so you're almost lengthened through the collarbone. And then add in a baby turn. Oh, it's not a full turn. Just look into the side, and that will increase. So feel that stretch. And making sure you're sat tall, you're on both sitting bones are grounded. You might be further back in your chair, it depends where your feet can firmly be placed on the floor. And then bring yourself back to center. Okay, just take a little shake out. Now from here, let's place a twist into the spine. So you might need to just maneuver yourself slightly on the chair. So from here, you're going to place the right hand onto the side of the leg. If it will reach, it can go to the side of the chair. This might mean that you need to sit back slightly. And then you can bring your hand either to the side of the chair or the back of the chair, lift and twist, or it might be it goes to the side. So it's up to you, wherever you get most stretch. So your pelvis is going to stay facing forward, as are the knees and the hips. And then this side on. So from this position, you might just have a hand here. One can be onto the side of the chair or back of the chair, and then draw yourself round. So take your eye gaze, the head, the neck, upper ribs, then turn through your mid, turn through your lower. There's not really going to be any rotation through your lower back. It's only got about 5 degrees of rotation, so it's not the very lower back. And feel that twist. So you might want to adjust that hand position to where you can get most from that stretch. And then just check that hasn't happened excessively. There's going to be a little bit of movement here, as long as you've still got the torque to get that stretch. I'm hoping you can feel that down one side of the back. So again, if you've got your mouse on the one side, you've always answering the phone on the one side, you'll probably find one way is a little bit easier to twist than the other. So this is great, the twist, for rehydrating the tissues, it's great for detox through the body, and then come back to center. And we're going to place that twist into the opposite side. So again, you can just start with one hand to the side of the leg, and then bring your hand to the back of, the side of the chair, or you can actually come to the back of the chair, and then you twist. So it's wherever feels best for you. So we're using that chair to aid, to assist those stretches, to take a breath in and then rotate. Just check your back shoulder isn't creeping up to the ear. So place a nice twist through the spine. So I would definitely schedule in movement breaks. So you do need to actually get up. Every half an hour is ideal. Even if you just walk up and back down the stairs, or if you're in your office from one end to the other, just move. Ground those sitting bones, then see if you can turn a little further. And then bring it back to centre. Have a little shake out. Okay, but let's go the other way with the spine. So we're going to go into a lateral flexion, so side bend. Now, hold underneath with the right hand or you could just lengthen down the side of the chair, and we're going to lengthen. Now, you might find if you wanted more stretch, come to the front so you can physically bring your hand right down the side of the front leg here, and then lengthen if you want more. So again, it's that almost push-pull action. So you're drawing up, but I'm not raising my arm, and then I'm lengthening over. So a nice stretch, opening through the rib cage. Okay, so again, the ribs, as we know, protect the lungs. So if the rib cage is stiff, that's going to affect your spinal movement with the attachments of the ribs onto the spinal column, and ultimately that's going to affect your breathing pattern. So holding it there. Again, you could make it a shorter lever if that wasn't suitable for your head, neck, any shoulder injuries. And again, lengthen up and lengthen over. And then we come back up to centre. And we're going to go the opposite way. So take that breath in. You might just slide the hand down the side. Or if you want more, you're going to pull up and over. And lengthen. And the feet can be hip width, shoulder width, whatever you want to go with to get that base of support. So you're balanced. And feel the length. Another breath in, lift up and over into that stretch. Just watch your right sitting bone, or that bottom teeth isn't lifting up. Keep it grounded so you keep those points of contact. And then come back up to centre. Good, okay, from here. Now, I appreciate when you're working, you're in a forward position, so we don't want to overdo that flexion, but the body is designed to go into flexion. You do want to create space between the joints in the spine. So from here, you can place, let me go side down, your hands onto the thighs. Just drop the head and the neck and curl the chin towards the collarbone and just come into a rounded. Now imagine you're going up and over a beach ball, so you're not compressing, and we're creating space. So think you've got a parachute on the back line that's drawing you this way, and that should feel really nice. So you can come as low as feels right. You might want to stick the thighs, the shins, now you can come lower, take hold towards the ankles, or even the base of the chair. Now, get your elbows to go outwards. That'll pick up the fascial lines in the back. You'll really feel that. Thumbs onto the front of the chair, elbows wide, drop your sitting bones, and feel like you're being drawn back. That will place a deep stretch across the blade line, apart from the trapezius, like you're separating the blades here. And just open. Elbows wide. And then just take your time, rolling back up to centre. So you don't get that head rush. Okay, let's finish this with an extension. Okay, so you can bring your hands into the small of the back here, and you're going to send the eye gaze up towards the ceiling, into the chest, sternum, and open. But watch you're not just going bang and pushing your lower back out. Now from here, you can aid this if you like with the chair. So your elbows are back, you might feel a little bit of a chest stretch as well, and then lengthen. Now it's quite nice to use the back of the chair because it actually stops you from doing this. So the lower back tends to be very good in going into extension. We don't want to overdo that because you'll overstrain those lumbar ligaments. And the upper back, as you know, because we tend to be in this position when we work. So imagine you're drawing a horizontal line across the base of your blades, and it's as if you're taking that part of the back up and over. You could even rest your elbows if you wanted into the back of the chair. So whatever feels right for you, and we're going to open that front line. So only go as deep as suits your body into that extension. You shouldn't be feeling anything in your lower back. That should be really snug and secure. You've grounded the sitting bones. If in doubt, keep the hands here so you'll feel if you push away, which we want to avoid. And then come back to centre. Okay, take a little shake out. So that's just moved the spine in all the ways it's designed, the rotation, the side bend. Yes, you've twisted, you've gone back into extension, into flexion. We've taken the head and neck with this as well, so that should feel quite freely movable now. Tomorrow, let's do lower body stretches for the desk office. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your feedback if that was useful. Have a nice day, everyone.